Hey guys, and welcome to the Lazy Lemon Creations podcast. My name is Lindsay. You can find me on Instagram as Lazy Lemon Creations, and you can find me on Ravelry as Lazy Lemon. This is my podcast all about my knitting, my crochet, my crafty things that I dive into, and it's a good mixture of both today. So today is Saturday, January 11th, 2025. It's the first episode of the new year for me, but this is episode 34. And I am excited to get an episode in this month because it's been just shy of a month since my last episode before Christmas. So let's get on with it. I live in the heart of the New River Valley with my husband and our 2 kids. They are all upstairs playing right now because it is Saturday and we are getting snow here in Virginia. So they are upstairs playing because it's 8 o'clock at night. So it's almost bedtime, but they're not ready for bed yet. So he's keeping them occupied. Let's jump into it. So since it is 2025, let's go ahead and go over our stats for 2024 and see what a huge year it was, especially in comparison to 2023. And then let's talk about what 2025 is going to hold for us as well. So the first thing is I keep track on like a small legal pad of each month the grams in, grams out. I also have a notebook here for the projects as well. So you might have seen it. It's my lemon notebook, but it is laid out very nice. I'll flip to a page and show you guys. Like I'm able to put the date and the month that it's about, all the projects and all the grams, and then I calculate it at the end of the grams in and the grams out. And this notebook is very thick. And I started this in 2023 with keeping track of everything. And we are starting 2025. And just to show you that we haven't made a dent, which if you think about it, it's only 24 pages. So of course, no, we haven't made a dent. But in comparison, like nothing to everything. So I'll be able to use this notebook for a really long time. But this is what I write my projects down for the month in. And then because I am such a stickler for office supplies and stuff like that, I also keep track of just the projects, because sometimes I'll start a project, but I won't finish it for a month or 2 or 6. And so it's hard to say I started something in January and didn't finish it in March. What month do I put it in the lemon notebook? So I first write everything in my composition notebook. And that's where I go and write every project. Ooh, let's go get blown out. As I start them. And then I put the start date underneath it, and I don't write the finish date in until I finish the actual project. And so this way I'm able to keep track of what each project entails each month. That's how I go back and add it to my month and see what was actually done within those parameters of January, February, so forth and so on. So all of that being said, I was able to easily go through and get the numbers for 2024. And I mean, I could just show you there. There you go. That's what it is. But I'll go ahead and say it out loud. We had a total of 15,165 grams in. And we had 4,713 grams out. For a difference of 10,452. Yeah, that's a lot. My biggest 2 months were October and December for grams in. And my biggest 2 months for grams out were May and December blankets. So yeah, that is what my 2024 looked like. I don't like that ratio. It is almost 4 times as many grams in as, it's over 3. It's like 3 point something for the ratio, and I don't like that. I had over 3 times as many grams in than I put out. And now, of course, 2024 was what a year. But we're going to work on that in 2025, because 2025 is all about working for my stash and not purchasing anything, which we have done so well so far in the 11 days of January, because gift yarn does not count. So let's jump in. Now that we're done with stats, let's jump into the FOs that I have finished since the last episode. So the ones that you may have seen on the previous episode that were whips. The first one's here, and both of them are here, but I'm just going to show them like this. The first one here is Knit Picks. I say Felicini, but that could be wrong. Sock yarn in the colorway Wagon Sofa. Beautiful browns, tans, and oranges that are all mixed in there. I'll get closer so you guys can see it. For my socks, I do Vanilla Socks on Magic Loop by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. I do every single sock this way on Magic Loop, 64 stitches. I do a 20 round cuff, 30 round leg, a heel flap and gusset, a foot, and a toe. That is my recipe. Vanilla, plain, I love it. Every sock I do that on ChowGoo Red Lace 32-inch needles. They are a 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle. I always get caught up saying that. And yeah, these were casted on, let's see here, November 11th, and I finished these December 25th. So I finished these on Christmas. And the ends are woven in. See, I can show you. I am notorious for that, of just shoving the blocker on and not weaving the ends. But you can't tell unless I tell you, and then you can tell. So, whoops. The next FO that I have that you guys had seen as a whip is my Musselburgh. The infamous hat by Isolde Teague. This was knit on ChowGoo Red Lace 16-inch needles, which I believe are a 1.5. If you give me just a second, they just got thrown into a project, so I can tell you real quick because I can check the needle. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a ChowGoo size 2, which is a 2.75. I apologize. And you'll see this project in just a minute. But that's the size that I knit this on. It is a yarnable colorway, Grow with the Flow. It is mostly blues and creams with speckles of purple and pink all throughout. It is a beautiful hat. I believe I did the adult small for my daughter. I might have done the medium just so that she could grow into it, but I believe I did the adult small, but it doesn't matter. It's for my daughter. It's for her to wear when it gets cold out, which she has worn it once, for all of 10 seconds to get to the car, and then took it off once we were in the car and didn't want to put it on to walk to school. So there you go. That's kids for you. So I finished that hat, which was cast on September 16th of 2024, and I finished that December 16th of 2024. And I believe I was almost done with it when I podcasted last, if not right there at the end. So, I do not have the grams for those socks or those hats, and I could weigh it, but I'm not going to. I'll put it in my notebook later when I want to keep track of it. But yeah, those are the 2 FOs that you guys had previously seen as whips on the podcast. So next, let's get into the FOs that I have finished that you haven't seen since the last episode. And so first up are some socks. I'm just putting them on the blocker here real quick. There we go. There we go. And both socks are done. They do not match exactly. They are off by, honestly, I couldn't tell you, maybe a full whole stripe. But it doesn't bother me and it doesn't bother the recipient. These are Nitpicks Felici in their Silent Film colorway out of their newest launch that they've had, as the main body of the sock. The cuff and the toe is out of, hold on a second, is out of the Bear Nomad yarn that I have. That is also a 75/25, so it goes great with Nitpicks Felici. And I'm gonna do that for as many socks as I can this year. Now, I do have a pair of socks that are from Freckled Whimsy, and they come with their own mini, and so, you know, the heels, toes, and cuffs and stuff like that will coordinate with the given mini. But anything that is Felici from here on out, or anything that's like a solid or something like that, I'm gonna do with the Bear because I like the uniformity of it. Is that a word? Uniformity? It is now. So these socks are done. These were 56 grams, and I know that because I weighed them to add them to my January book, because I cast these on January 1st of 2025 and I finished them on January 7th of 2025. And what I'm doing this year is the year started on a Wednesday and it will end on a Wednesday, which I think is really cool and unique. I don't know if every year does that, like the day it starts on is the day it ends on, because, you know, there's leap years and such. But this is the first year that I've taken notice. So I am going to cast on a new sock every Wednesday, and it will motivate me to work on more socks because I can only have so many needles actively going before I eventually run out, and I will have to finish a pair in order to cast on a new pair. So I think I have 6 sock needles that are my 32-inch that I like. I have a couple of 40 inches and stuff like that too, and I have some 9 inches too. But the point is, if I cast on a sock every single Wednesday, eventually, if I get behind, I'm gonna have to finish them to open up some new needles. So, but right now, I'm doing great with keeping up with one pair of socks per week. So, pair number 1 is done so far. That makes me very happy. Now, the next FO that I have, it's actually 2, one and the same. And it's the Easy Breezy Ribbed Beanie by the Turtle Trunk. The little brim folds up. That's a big brim on that little hat. Both of these are the exact same size. These are the baby 6 to 12 month size because my daughter's teacher announced that she was pregnant over winter break, and she discovered that she is having a boy. And then our church preschool director over the nursery has been trying to get pregnant for quite a long time, and they finally succeeded, and they are also having a boy, and both of them are due in June. Both of them are having boys, and so each one of those hats is for each one of those little boys that are coming into the world in June. So I went ahead and made a 6-month size for them to wear next winter. So I made these. This one was, I just said it, 54 grams. I just weighed it, so that's how I know. This one was 54 grams, and this one was 46 grams. And they're made out of 2 different yarns. This one is made out of the Mandela ombre color. I don't know if you can tell that it's an ombre. Maybe if I slowly rotate it on the camera. I hope that you can tell that that's an ombre, and you can kind of see right there where I joined because of the different colors. But this one is the colorway Harmony. This one is the one that's lighter. It's a much airier, squishy feel. This one was using Karen Simply Soft. that I had in long-term stash. I had made a rainbow granny square blanket years ago, and this was left over, and I went ahead and did it because this way both parents can just wash them and dry them and they don't have to worry about the kids messing them up. But these are gifts, so I'm excited to have them off of my hook. Speaking of, I used a Susan Bates size H, which is an 8 or a 5 millimeter hook for both of those hats. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, started and finishing them. I did both of them on the 9th, I want to say. And the reason why I'm questioning that is because this past week, my husband gave me my Christmas gift. And people are like, but it's January. No, we had to work it out. Because for Christmas and my birthday, which was on January 2nd, he gifted me 3 nights away in a hotel completely alone. He had the kids, he had the house, he held down the fort, and I got to go and stay in a hotel for 3 nights. And it was absolutely wonderful. I was ready to come home by that 3rd night though. But the break was so worth it. I got to watch it snow from my hotel window. I got to watch whatever I wanted to on TV for as long as I wanted to. I got to knit and crochet and eat and just have the best 3 days. I took those hats with me. I started those hats. I took the yarn with me. Started those hats and then realized I didn't bring my big darning needle with me in order to seam up the end of it. So I had to wait until I got home this morning before I could officially finish those hats. But they're done and now they're ready. They're ready for their recipients. They are ready for their recipients. Goodness. Okay. That's a lot of FOs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Did I just count that right? No, I didn't. That's 4. 2 pairs. No, that is right. It is 5. Oh goodness. I'm not with it today, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's now go into whips that we have going on. So the first one that you guys had seen last time is my muscle burra that I have here. It is in Knit Picks Stroll Ash colorway. They come in 50 gram balls, and I am on the, I cannot put this back in its bag, my goodness. I am on the 2nd ball on this hat. You can kind of see right there where the 2 joined, but unless you're really looking for it, you'll never know, and the recipient is not going to mind. But I am on the 2nd ball of this, and I think I'm almost ready to start my decreases. I'm going to have to measure again, because the last time I did, I think I had like 3.5 to 4 inches to go. So I'm going to have to measure again to see where I am at with the hat before I start my decreases. I believe it's sticking to me. I'm very staticky today. Yeah, this is not where I was last time. This is actually marking where I have joined in some yarn, and so I need to go in and weave those ends, but that's my marker that I have on here. Let's see here. Come on. Work with me. There we go. Little Christmas tree from Twin Mountain Handcrafts. They're actually local to me. So it's beautiful. It's on clear acrylic. Super sparkly. And this project, again, the Musselburgh, this is an adult medium. Yes. Chalgu Red Lace 16-inch needles, a size 2, which is a 2.75 needle. It is living in this bag by Fancy Boy Designs, my Christmas tree bag. The stitch marker matches the bags all together. And this Christmas tree bag, to me, does not scream Christmas, it screams winter. Okay, yes, Christmas trees are for Christmas, but I don't know, something about this just says more wintry to me. And so I'm going to continue using it until I finish the Musselburgh. But I'm excited for that because it's vanilla knitting and that's what I love. Then the next whip that I have, let's pull it out here. It's actually a hoe. It's a half finished object that I have. So let me show you the hoe, as you just saw a peep of it. It's a sock. So as I was saying earlier, on Wednesday, I'm gonna start a new pair of socks. So when I finished the Felici socks, I went ahead and cast on this set of socks, which is Freckled Whimsy, the Halloween Club. It is Goblin Party for the month of July. And so the mini is a solid purple right here. And so that is the toe and the heel and the cuff. And no, my ends are not woven in. And I've got all my markers here to keep track of how I'm doing on the sock. And I just removed this marker right here to notice my 30 rows of my leg. So I am ready to start the heel on this one, and the yarn just made it to the purple color. So I'm not even gonna have to cut my yarn in order to get it to match up, which I didn't have to on the first sock either. And that makes me really happy. So those were started on the 8th, and I am hoping to have those finished by the 14th so that I can start a new pair on the 15th. And I'm excited to tell you guys how I plan on delegating what sock I work on next, which I'll talk about here in just a minute. Let me finish with these whips, because it's a lot. This is a lot today. The last whip that I currently have, for now, is another baby blanket. Because I just love making baby blankets for other people. I'm not a garment knitter, don't like garments. So I will knit them a baby blanket every single time. And I'll give you 3 guesses as to what style baby blanket it is. If you guessed another checkered blanket, you'd be correct. So I just started this one. I started this one last night while I was watching some podcasts in the hotel room. And I got these 3 squares. I'm going to do 8 across and 8 rows up for a 64 square blanket. But yeah, the colors that I'm using, look at it. It's corner to corner stitch, and it's crochet, and it's also using the Susan Bates H hook that the hats were using as well. For the colors that I am using Karen Simply Soft, and this colorway is just white. Then I am using Karen Simply Soft in the colorway Pistachio. And then the next row, I will be using Karen Simply Soft in the colorway Dark Sage. So those are the 3 colors. Look how pretty that I will be working with for this blanket, for this little baby boy that's coming in June for our church director in our nursery. So I am very excited to make this blanket and work on it as my little crochet project. So that is all of my whips and all of my FOs. Whew. Now that we've talked about all of that, let's talk about how I want to work on my stash in 2025. As any returning viewer will see, I had a huge bag of Knit Picks Felici that was purchased for me in December by myself. I purchased it for myself. It's over here and I don't want to lift it, but it is huge. It is all 15 colors of Knit Picks Felici of their newest launch, and I have 2 balls each. So it is 30 balls of Knit Picks Felici. Yeah, that's a lot. But I wanted a way to decide what color I'm going to do without having to sit there and look at the colors and say, I'm not really feeling blue today. I'm not really feeling green today. What am I feeling? So I'm going to take the decision out of my hands. Shauna Stitches had posted on Instagram a video of a decision wheel making a choice for her on one of her projects. And so I decided that I was going to do the exact same thing. So I made, oh, the camera's going to blow it out. Hold on. There we go. I made a decision wheel with all of the Knit Picks Felici colorways that I have over there in that back. Now, I have other colorways. I was not home, like I said, I was gone on my trip, in order to put in all of the older stash of Knit Picks Felici into that chart, which I will probably work on tomorrow after we watch church. But that's what I'm going to do. Each and every Wednesday, I'm going to go onto my phone, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to go spin, and it's going to rotate itself around, and then it's going to find one, and it's going to be like, that's what you work on. And I'm going to be like, great, I can't wait. So I don't have to think about it. It's one less thing that I have to think about, and with everything going on in life, let's do it. One less thing to think about for all the sock decisions. All right. Yeah. And also the beanies that I had made for the teacher and the church director. That is the same pattern that I am using for all of the hats that I am donating to our oncology clinic as well. So you'll be seeing a lot more of those. It might just be a mention of, hey, I made 4 hats for clinic. Because I have one of those giant like pound skeins of yarn. And to show you the same hat 7 times for all the sizes just kind of seems redundant to me. So we'll see how many I show. I might just show it once I finish all the sizes, maybe with a picture, or however often I decide to donate. So yeah, I'll be working on those as well. Those will be some of my quick and easy on the go makes. And then yeah, let's get into life and reading and watching. So nothing for reading and watching except watching. I've been doing a few podcasts. Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady, Lisa of 72 Stitches, Amie of Happy Little Yarn, Amber of Ambi Marie Knits, Needles at the Ready, just anybody that I'm going to filter through on YouTube. Not really been into TV shows here the past couple of days. I have been more focused on doing a podcast and then devoting more of my time reading on my Kindle. I got a reading journal for Christmas, and so I'm using that to keep track of everything that I'm reading. It's funny though, because 2 different people got me a reading journal, and the one that I'm going to use that's pretty is this one here. I will have everything linked down below, by the way. Yarn, if it's available, people, patterns, stuff like that. That'll all be linked in the description below. I am sorry, I just now am mentioning that. But this will also be on there because it's on Amazon, where you can get it if you want one too. But it's a reading journal. It goes through and you can put, you know, the book, the author, page, publication, how you rate it, thoughts, so forth and so on. But then at the front, like, you can have a list of if you're borrowing a book, lending a book. It's got the book tracker if you want to color in a book, star rating if you wanted to rate the book, and just cute little things like this. And then the daily reading tracker and stuff like that that you can keep track of. But this is the pretty one. The other one that was given to me, I think it was from my sister, if I can remember correctly, from Christmas, is my reading journal. It is misspelled. But that's okay. And it has more like crisp lines, stuff like that, but it's literally laid out the exact same. With books, star rating, if you've done a challenge, how many days of the year you've read, so forth and so on. So this is the same book. I only have one book written in there right now, and that is from Iron Flame. I read Fourth Wing, and then I read Iron Flame from Rebecca Yarros in preparation for Onyx Storm, which is coming out in a week and 3 days, so 10 days from now. very excited for that. I cannot wait for this book to be released. I am half tempted to stay up really late and start it at midnight, but I know that I have to get my daughter off to school on the 21st, and I don't want to be dragging my feet because of that. So we'll see. But I did make it a challenge for myself to read and knit, or read and crochet, or read and craft every day for myself as me time. 30 minutes a day, sometimes an hour, mostly 30 minutes a day that I sneak away. I pop in some earplugs. They dampen the sound enough to where I can still hear my kids, but it's not so overstimulating that I feel like I want to scream. I wear the earplugs, and for 30 minutes I knit and I read. And I am currently reading The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. It is a reread for me. I've read it before. But there is a 5th book coming out in the spring, I want to say. I want to say it's in March, but I could be wrong on that. But I'm rereading that series because I read the first 3. And then when the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out, I didn't read it, but I do own it. And so I want to read that one. And then when the 5th one comes out, I'm going to read it as well. So getting back to some reading roots that I really enjoy. But that's it, I believe. That's reading and watching life. Christmas was great. Then my birthday was great. My son's birthday was great. His is a week before Christmas. He had his tubing removed. He has a port because he has leukemia. He has a port, and we had to be access to that for 28 days. And that 28 days ended on his birthday. And so we got to remove that, which was wonderful. And then he wanted to go to the fire station, so we went to our local fire station and spent the afternoon there letting him look at the fire trucks and the ambulances and everything else, and he really enjoyed it. And then we went to his favorite restaurant and ate, and yeah, then just came home for the day. So he had the best birthday. And so he is 5 now, my little 5-year-old, Emrys Ray, and he's growing up on me. He's doing a lot better. He's taking well to his treatment. We did start our next phase of chemo, and we have more doctor's visits this upcoming week. It will be a lot of traveling for me, which won't be that bad. It'll be okay. Then my daughter, she's 8. She is doing wonderful. She's enjoyed the snow and gotten to go out and play in the snow and had a really great Christmas. And then ever since my birthday, she's been like, "Here, Mom, let me help you now that you're 31. And I'm like, I'm just 31. I'm not decrepit. Like, it's okay. I can still do things. But she's wanted to help out here at the house a lot more. And so we're giving her more responsibilities, such as laundry and taking out the trash. And so she's getting there. She's getting there. But she's been helping out tremendously, and I love my little girl. She's so precious. Alara Skylar. I do not show them on the podcast, hardly ever. You probably will not see them. Occasionally on Instagram, if you're looking for it, you might be able to see them, but most of the time, it's just me. And then, yeah, we had Christmas, and then we had my birthday. And like I said, part of my gift, my gift was, it was a partial Christmas, partial birthday gift, was getting to go and stay in the hotel for the 3 nights, which was wonderful. We talked to the hotel that's local to us. They're only about 3 miles away, and explained our situation. And because I wanted to be away from the house, but I wanted to be close enough in case an emergency arose. Because having a son with leukemia, if he spikes a fever, we have to drive an hour to our clinic. Like, we have to drive to our team, to our hospital that our team is based out of. And so I wanted to be close in case something like that happened. And they worked with us and let us do that. And so that was wonderful. And I don't know how many more times I can say wonderful and great and the word "and" in this outro. So I think that's it. I think I'm just starting to ramble now. I do not know how long this will be. I did have to stop and reset the battery for the 30-minute recording time, so we'll see how that goes. But I am hoping to have another podcast up for you guys by the end of January, because there are 5 weeks in January this year. So yeah, I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.